I mean, like, are we live?
What's going on, everybody? Live from the promised land. Hey, who's this guy?
I mean, like, are we live?
What's going on, everybody? Let's mute that.
Yeah.
All right. What is going on? Look at this. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear us. Today's been one of those days. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to start with that. Can you? You're going to have to slide up some.
Slide up.
There you go. Now, you don't have to lean into me like Mom, but for those who don't know, this is Mr. Flavortown himself.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. That's some other dude.
Yeah.
He shows up in the videos.
He does show up in the video. He's always there. You're always there trying to get the snacks.
It's just some random guy. He shows up. I don't know who he is.
Mr. Flavortown. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, that's right. That's not Monica. Today's one of them days. I'll tell you all about it here in just a minute. Let's say hi to everybody that's in here. We'll start from the top. And you know what? This is going to be a great live. You know why it's going to be a great live?
Why is that?
Because I'm going to be allowed to talk.
Oh.
What, you going to take over too?
Mom was saying I got to reel you in.
Wait, Mom gave you instructions?
Yeah, she said, I said, what do I do? She goes, don't let Dad talk the entire time.
All right, cool. All right, well, here, slide up a little bit more because I feel like you're in the back seat. Okay, what?
Oh, sorry.
Rookies.
I'm new to this.
You know what I'm saying? Rookies. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You got something to drink over there?
Got my water.
Yeah, I'm watching the replay in the camera over here, and it's...
Got my water.
I see that. It's kind of rude. We're doing a show.
Sorry.
And you decided to take a drink, and then, this microphone's sensitive, so it probably picked up you, and you can't see it, but...
Yeah.
That little thing underneath there.
Oh.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. It's so glad to have everybody in here. Let's see. Jake from Nunya, Texas, Gear Grinder. What's up? Yeah, I saw my son read the little comment from you. I got you. You're right. It's supposed to be every 8 o'clock. And I told him, it's like every time we're trying to get ready, I was prepared. I had everything set up because I knew Monica wasn't going to be here. Something came up. So she's gone. And I start putting everything out way ahead of time. And then I got busy talking to Luke, good dad-son time. I think it was pretty good quality time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about his day at work and all that jazz. And, it's important to make sure you take time to know your kids, I think.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to hear that.
No, nothing like that for me.
Okay, good. So anyway, we got busy talking to him, and then stop kicking the table.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Imagine
You're not that tall, bro. Not that
massive.
Tall. Settle down. Anyway, so I had tried to get everything set up, and then it was the last few minutes. Here comes Luke rushing downstairs because he was trying to fill in, and then I was like, man, I don't have anything to drink. I still didn't bring my drink. All right, he might have to excuse himself here in just a minute. Anyway, so it's been one of those days, gear grinding. So thank you for the harassment. I do like a good harassing every now and again. Altruistic, Farmstead, what's going on? So glad you all are in here. Rebecca Davis, great to have you in here. Let's see who else we got here. The Peterson Farms of Nashville. Welcome. So glad to have you in here. I got to meet them. I don't know if you knew this, but we got to fill in for Tim over at Ridge Life on Tuesday. And that was really cool that we were able to do that. And I will tell you something, man, that is a tough job. I'll get back to that in just a second. But so Peterson Farms of Nashville was in there. And so to see them here is very exciting. I'm so glad you all made it in here. Thank you so much for making it in. Let's see who else we have in here. We've got Broke Cowgirl Homestead. And let's see, Black's Tropical. What's going on? Yogi Hollow, I'll be praying for you. She said she's not feeling the greatest, and I know that something's going around. We got some icky stuff rolling around here as well. Oh, if you haven't had a chance, I don't know if she put it on Instagram or something like that, but on top of Lisa over at Yogi Hollow not feeling the greatest, her dog has some kind of allergy or allergic reaction thing. And man, I think he's not a bulldog, American bulldog. They're the ones that are a little bit more muscular and not so squatty.
Yeah.
He's like a big baby. I've seen him on some different videos and stuff like that. He demands attention and all that good stuff. And on top of that, he's got that face like Joy, like our boxer. And so his eyes are all like squinty. He's got all red here and his muzzle's red. And he's a white dog, so you can kind of see like his skin color through there. So I feel bad for the little guy or big guy. So anyway, let's see. Huga Homestead. Had to say it like that, or else I won't say it correctly. So that's Huga right there, by the way. Would you pronounce that like Huga?
It may be like Higa.
Well, the good thing is it doesn't matter because it's not how you pronounce it. Miss Liberty is in here. How are you? So good to see you in here working with Wiley. What's going on? Let's see. Who else we got in here? Adventures on the Homestead, Mr. Jim. Yeah, that's right. Black's Tropical Homestead right there. Mr. Flavor Town. What's going on? That is him in the flesh. And he has brought that full circle for sure. Mr. Heath over Frontier Survival. Lisa Colovi. So glad to see you guys. I feel like Monica's in the back of my head like, hurry up. There's people in here waiting for you to actually talk about something. Troy over at Bar Run Forge. What's going on, man? Great work over there. If you guys haven't had a chance, he goes on a live a couple hours before us. He does great work. He's the one that does the blacksmithing. He's done a brand for us that we can brand our steaks.
Yeah, I've seen that over there. Yeah, we used it once or twice, I think. Now,
go ahead. You got to talk while I get a drink.
No, well, I'm pretty sure we've used it once or twice. I wasn't there.
All right, that was enough. All right, so.
Wow. So that's what Mom has to put up with. No. I've been here a few times and I've heard Diva Dad.
Whoa.
Full force.
Whoa. You leave that alone. Mama's not here. The Tinkerer's wife. What's going on? Free Handley Maid. What's going on? The Cowboys are still going to lose. So good to have you in here. Joe and Sue's Off-Grid Adventure. So glad that you're in here. She's originally from Dallas. She lives in Montana now. So she did good by going up there.
Yeah.
M. Pedmar, what is going on? So glad to see you. You can hear Monica? Yeah. She's in the back of my mind too. All right, let's see who else we got in here. Did we miss anybody? Are you keeping up over there?
Well, I'm just kind of watching. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. Mom didn't give me too many instructions. She just said, make sure you don't go too crazy.
Don't go too crazy. Okay.
Don't let Dad be a diva.
Southern Sown and Grown. Miss Raquel is in here. So glad that everybody's in here. 26 folks in here. We really, really do appreciate everybody stopping in. Jason with Gardening with Goody. If you didn't get a chance to check out our last live, he was our special guest. Go check that out. Caleb, what is going on? Geez, there's a lot of chat in here. That's great, man. Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. Thank you so much for coming in. I think that you're new in here. Mr. Blue Collar Homestead. Glad that you are here as well. Denise, how would you say that?
Where is it?
Let's see if I can pronounce it. Denise Passel. Let's just say
Passel. That's what I'd say.
Let's make the H silent and go with it.
Yeah.
Or is it Pass?
It's Passel.
Okay. Well, let's see what's going on. Hopefully
one of us pronounced it right.
Hopefully we did. Denise, if we did not, I apologize. You can feel free to correct me in the chat so that I get it correct at least for a minute. Two old people on a couch. What is going on? Little Frenchie, I see. Oh, yeah, there she is. Hey, by the way, update on the pig.
Gizmo? Oh.
Still crazy.
Yeah, I was say, it's still annoying. It's no different than.
Well, you have to be careful now because we're actually going to, he's going to Little Frenchie here.
Oh, no. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Wonderful.
He's the best.
We can't wait to get rid of him.
It's funny. Next week, I believe, is when we're going to have Black's Tropical on here. I guarantee we are going to talk about pigs. Some people have a fascination about pigs, and this is no slight against Sherry. I want to say this right now. Pigs are cute. Don't get me wrong. Piglets are cute. Don't get me wrong.
First 6 weeks, that's it.
But I'm going to tell you something, man. Them jokers are like Man, they're like a full-on gang.
Mm.
They escape. They find ways to get into trouble. They're out there destroying stuff. I mean, you can fix the fences and everything, and these guys will find a way to get, especially when they're little.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard, but nonetheless, they're good here on our homestead. And to little Frenchie, I see Lala in here, Lala Farm. That is Rick. It's one of like 3, 5, 4, 5, 10 different Ricks that it could be. They're all Ricks.
Only Ricks.
Only Ricks. I think
see.
even the wife's name is Rick. I'm not 100%.
Oh, okay. Whew, that's a lot of Ricks.
That's a lot of Ricks.
That's a lot of Ricks.
But the good thing is when I was on there live, I didn't have to worry about anybody's name.
You just said Rick and everyone
Just Rick, and everybody was paying attention. So it was great. Good. Yeah, it was great. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, so Gizmo. Update on Gizmo. Gizmo is doing great. He's got his little
scar.
His little scab / scar is working itself out. I mean, it's like the size of a dime. Would you say?
I mean, yeah, it's like less than this. It's just like a little scab now. It's not even like if you pick the little scab off, that'd basically be it. Like it'd probably just be skin under that at this point. Yeah,
for sure. But he's a cool pig. In all fairness, I know we goof around.
Yeah.
The reason why he annoys us at times is because he's so friendly that when you're standing out in the yard, like I was talking to Caleb earlier today, he stopped by and he's standing there and the pig is like grabbing a hold of his pant leg, like, hey, I know you got food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the funny thing is, and you know this, so a lot of people may not know this, but Luke is actually our resident expert on pigs. He's the one that has always gotten them ready for processing. And what that means is that he gets them up to weight, gets them ready to get to that processing part. And one of the ideas that I believe it was your idea that you came up with the last time, because we always have a hard time getting them into the trailer, is what was it, about a week before?
Oh, yeah. About a week before when we train them to get up in. Yeah.
So we actually took the stock trailer and put it inside of their fence line and then fed them in there for several days, a week, whatever it was. And then they were so comfortable with getting in and out of the trailer that when it was day for processing, he just took the bucket in there, fed them. They jumped up in there. We closed the back gate, hooked the trailer up to the truck, and off we go.
Yeah. They actually started sleeping in there at one point. I think it was our last pigs that we had.
Okay.
They like, I'd go out there and I'd be like, where'd they go? I couldn't find them anywhere. And then I'd shake the bucket and I'd hear the trailer starting to rattle around. They come running out, like, give us food.
Yeah. They start doing that grunting. Yeah. So a couple more folks jumped in here. Harvey Black, great to see you in here. Creekside Maples, awesome that you're in here. We're so thankful that you guys decided to come here. This is our last live for the year. Farmer's Son Preppin', thank you for coming in. Uncle Al, I see your name in here somewhere. The Reef Robber, Earl, what's going on? It is great to have everybody in here. So we have a special guest tonight. And because it's one of those days that things don't always go right.
Yeah.
You ever have one of them days?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's
same household. Usually when something goes wrong for one person, it's everyone else's day as well.
That is so true. Thank you. See, that's why this guy's smart, man. I'm telling you, this guy is smart. I still feel like you're in the back seat, though. Maybe don't kick the table.
Why does it say you want me to kick the table?
Don't kick the table. Just slide up. There you go. Look at you. You did it.
I can just hog the camera now.
No. Now you're like mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm missing mom. I'd rather her laying across me than you. No offense.
None taken.
Okay. All right. So 32 folks in here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate you guys doing that. Or coming in here. I'm sorry. I saw the comment from M. Pedmar. Yes, we don't typically feed them before processing, but the processor that we use lets them stand for 24 hours before they process them. So that is why we're willing to do that. Let's see. All right. So 32 folks in here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you haven't had a chance to check us out on other social media, we ask that you do so, Instagram and Facebook. And so we'll get to that in just a second as well. I kind of jump around, as you probably tell by now. But so today, this week, really, we've had a lot of problems. And here where we live in Texas, there is something about the water. The water is like just so hard. We're not on a well, and he knows because he's helped me a lot with replacing and repairing different things in the house. And so many times with homesteading, you get to a point where you put your house last. It's almost like you put everything out in the pasture first. Does anybody out there do that? Anybody else? Or is it just us? We got so many things going on with the temperature changes. This weekend, we actually have a warning for temperature drop. It's supposed to get down into the teens. Today was, I think, like 75, 80 degrees. Is that what, do you know?
Is it how low it got today? Are you talking about
how high it got?
How high? I'm not sure. I know it got ridiculously cold today.
Cold?
It was cold this morning. It was cold. It was like mid to low 40s.
No,
it was mid to low 40s.
Stop talking. You're starting to sound like a Texan now, just because it gets lower than.
I could see my breath.
It could be the humidity. It doesn't have anything to do with the temperature. Settle down. Anyway, while little man over here is freezing to death and wearing like full-on hoodies and turtlenecks, it was like 80 degrees today.
Oh, yeah,
I want to say between 70 and 80. I can't remember quite, but it was warm. And yeah, see, broke cowgirl 29 for our low this weekend. So we're supposed to be down to like 19, which isn't a big deal for us, obviously, because we can come and go in and out of the house. Yeah. We're going to get a chance to start up our fireplace. I do like that.
Like only like 2 days though. That's it. It's gonna warm right back up.
Take them 2 days.
Oh yeah,
take them 2 days. But yeah, so I'm not worried about us, but when you have such a swing in temperatures, you have to really be careful with the animals. So the cows, you got to make sure you have all the hay out, get the protein tubs in place. They've already had them anyway, just because the grass hasn't been growing great. It is growing because of the warm temperatures. It's been sprouting back up again. Mm-hmm. But of course, we've got the pigs. The pigs, we want to make sure that we get all the straw out there, and they're pretty self-sufficient. The litter that we just had, I'm not concerned about now. They're 3.5, 4 weeks old?
I think they're 4 weeks They're 4 weeks, I think, at the beginning of the week. They're like born on Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
But I think they're like 4 weeks old now.
Okay. So they're a little over 4 weeks. I need to put that up there. Yeah, Luke thinks he's in a Hallmark movie, so he's wearing turtlenecks. I
could work it. I could totally
work it. You got to make sure it's green and then have like a red sweater.
Yeah.
It's got to be red and green.
Of course.
So anyway, so the temperature swing is going to be huge. The chicken's not too concerned about, but we just had a litter of rabbits. So I want to make sure that they are also, okay. So here's Mom, AKA my next door neighbor, 45 this morning and a high of 80. So that gives you an idea of the swing that we're getting ready to encounter. All right, say something, Lon.
The forecast today has been a little rough. I told you.
Okay, that's good. You're not a weather guy. Settle down.
You said
settle down.
Like I gotta fill in the silence while you're taking a sip.
Yeah,
a slurp.
It was a slurp.
Yeah, I heard
Miss Jan, so glad to see you in here. Seed Faith, glad that you're in here. Henry, Leslie, Vermont, so glad you're in here. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up when you guys make it in here. So we got this big temperature swing. Is anybody else going to experience a big swing? Or is this like a Texas thing? I haven't had a chance to really look at weather. I'm just kind of really looking at myself in this area. To answer your question, yes, that is a Dexter mug. Funny story about that for another time. But somehow I wound up with it. It was my friend's. All right, so it looks like Pine Tree Hill. Hello. So glad that you're in here. We really appreciate you stopping in. More severe storms headed our way tomorrow and Saturday. So these folks here were actually impacted with all the tornadoes that hit through the Midwest a few weeks back.
I was saying, I feel like I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody's able to keep safe. Let's see what these folks here, I believe they are in Canada. So it was 28 below 0 Celsius last week, and now it's supposed to be 7 above 0 on Sunday. Okay, so that's pretty good too.
Do you know what Celsius is?
Yeah, it's a standard of measurement.
Do you know what 28 below
See,
is?
you didn't think I was going to say that.
Do
You didn't think I was going to
you know
say
what
that.
28 below 0 is in Celsius?
Do you?
No, that's what I was asking you.
Well, 0 is 32 degrees
Yeah.
in Fahrenheit. I do know that.
Yeah.
So that much more below 0 in Fahrenheit. Hey. You can't clap on the microphone. Come on, what are you, a rookie?
I'm sorry,
or
I'm learning. This is my first time.
something? Okay. So let's see. I don't know if we have. Do you look over there and see if we got some moderators?
Yeah.
Okay, we got some folks in here. Okay, so I appreciate the moderators for sure. I'll take this hat off for a second. We really appreciate the mods that have been working with us since we started doing our lives. You guys do an awesome job. I really, really do appreciate it. So once we get through some of the newer folks that are coming in, and feel free to share everybody's link. And for the folks who are new here, I'm gonna put my hat back on. I like it better with it on.
Gets a little bright.
Well, it's that license plate.
I was just saying it reflects
So
when you take your hat off.
it's that baldness.
It's that hairline.
It is. Look forward to it, bruh.
Nah, I got mom's hair.
Pull it up. Let me see.
I don't know. It's a little
It,
better.
it might be mom's. You might get away with it, but then that means you're gonna have her dad's hairline, which means
Yeah, little hat on the back.
the little hat in the back. Anyway, for everybody that's new here, feel free to talk amongst everybody that's here. We like to build a community. It's not disrespectful to ask for someone's link or to ask the mod for someone's link. If you want to say something about your channel, that's fine. Feel free to do that. We're a channel that we just believe that you kind of come and go as you please. We have a 2-hour live. Not everybody can stick around for that. If you can, great. We would really appreciate it, but we understand that you can't. And also for the folks who are new on the second hour, so it'd be 9 o'clock Central, we will have our special guest joining us. And tonight it's going to be Abundant Acres. And so that was what I was getting ready to start talking about earlier. Projects with Paul. How you doing? Henry, Leslie, Vermont. Oh, I did say hi to you earlier. Our guest, while we're having all these problems, and I still didn't, you didn't keep me on.
Well,
I wouldn't even tell everybody what our problems
you
were.
didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. You didn't give me a script. All right, Dad. Mom gets a script. I didn't get a script. She said, "Luke, help that out." I said, "I'll try." You waited until after I was done talking to take a sip. I was talking, and then you took a sip. You're creating more problems.
I did do that on purpose. Anyway, so let me tell you about our problems, and I'll tell you about the problems of the other folks. Okay, so the problems that we've been having is with the hard water that we keep experiencing a lot of leaks. And so I keep changing out the seats and the O-rings and all this stuff and all the faucets and the handles for the shower and everything you can possibly imagine. And so when I was coming home from work, I guess it was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, probably Tuesday.
Monica had called me and asked me how we turned the water off to the washing machine or the dishwasher.
Yeah.
The dishwasher had sprung a leak. There was water all over the floor. And of course we have wood floors. So that was a mess. So told her how to shut the water off to the house and then how to kind of isolate the dishwasher. And she did a really good job. The kids were the little kids. Luke, of course, was at work. I was at work. And so the little kids were able to help out. They were able to find the lines and stuff. And so shut the water off. And by the time I got home, there was water all over the floor again. And so we got the wet vac back out and vacuumed everything up again. And once we got that done, I kept an eye on it and it was bone dry. Everything was fine. And so about 2 to 3 hours later, there's water all over the floor again. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I got up underneath the sink again and I checked, and somehow I guess it wasn't tight enough. The valve was not shut enough. So I tightened it down again. And then we checked it again and again, and everything was dry. Everything stayed dry. And then the next morning we wake up and it did it again. And it's like, how in the world is this happening? So it was one of those mystery things. You have one water line that's feeding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where in the world is it coming from? You know what I mean?
It's ridiculous. Everything here breaks at the same time.
It does. So that night when we were trying to get ready, because of course Christmas was upon us and we had Christmas Eve service and all that stuff, my 13-year-old comes to me and says, Dad, we have water coming out of the wall. I'm like, what do you mean in the shower? There's water coming out of the wall. And I'm like, man, you got to be kidding me. So I go in there and I'm looking at the head of the shower, and it's got a little bit of a tilt to it. It doesn't come straight out, but just a little bit of a tilt. And I'm like, well, that thing's probably got a crack in it. So the next morning I was off work and I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and start working on this. I had to cut the wall, I had to check to see where the leaks were coming from. And when I went around to the front, I didn't tell you this, but the pipe that was coming out for the shower head, I went to go touch it. And as soon as I touched it with my hand, that thing fell off in my hand.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that.
No. So then I'm looking at it, and the end of the pipe that has the threads on it is stuck inside the other pipe.
What?
Yeah. So now I got a pipe stuck inside the other pipe, and I had no way to get it out because I couldn't grab a hold of it. So I tried taking my screwdriver, making a little notch, and then kind of like start knocking it around. Couldn't get it. I hit that thing with some WD-40. Psst, psst, psst.
Good sound effects.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I have to say that Mom doesn't appreciate my sound effects, I don't think.
Well, I'm a connoisseur of the sound effects.
Let's go.
Sound effects.
Okay. Don't do that. That wasn't good.
Okay. I'm sorry. Won't do it again.
Okay. Anyway, so I took a pair of those lineman pliers, those new ones I bought that for the fencing that were like 12 inches long, and I jammed that thing up in there, and I was able to get it turning. Now, full disclosure, because some people were complimenting me and said, hey, great thinking. It wasn't my idea.
Whose idea was it?
Man, I got on YouTube and tried to figure it out. I was like, what do I do? And so when I saw it, now the guy on the video used a piece of metal that he was able to ram in there. And I'm like, well, I don't have any metal like that. So I did come up with using the pliers, but you know, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I got to find something that I can wedge in there. And I was going to take. Did you just yawn?
This is like
you just yawned.
That's not the first time. I've yawned multiple times now. You've just now realized?
Okay, wow. I hope everybody at home is not yawning.
I'm a growing man, Dad. I need my sleep.
Anyway, so I was able to get that piece out, and but you know, I still haven't gotten everything done. I still have electrical work on the front gate. I had the J box that broke off. I think one of the dogs broke it. It's kind of been loose and wonky anyway, but I need to get it actually fixed. So I got all the parts for that. But you know, that goes to what I was saying earlier, that so many times on a homestead, you put everything else first. You put the cows first, and the pigs and the rabbits and the chickens, cutting firewood and all this other stuff. And then the things in the house pay the price. So then you have like a big list, you know? And okay, thank you, Abigail. All right, so my story is boring. Okay, good to know. So I'm glad that I'm getting harassed from Monica, even though she's not here. Or
hey, Mom, maybe you should be here to reel him in. It's kind of your fault right now that he's doing this. You know, yeah. If you were here, he wouldn't be doing this. I'm here.
Here we
You've
go.
left me in charge now.
See, I like comments like this.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. You know, there's only so much I can do. You're my dad.
Yeah.
I can't tell you to be quiet. I mean, I could.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not a good
I get
idea.
in trouble off camera.
I can put this on pause and spank your little booty. All right. Anyway, yes, it's such hard water here. And so we've had a lot of water issues here. I can't tell you how many leaks and floods I've seen in the last week itself. So even in preparation for tonight, the folks that are going to be coming on Abundant Acres, they have been without power. They lost power. I don't know if it was like heavy winds. I wasn't able to really get down to the nitty gritty just because of all the, the hubbub of trying to get ready by 8. And, you know, a lot of times people don't know what all goes into a live. I almost took a picture today from the other side so that people could see all the different setup that we have. And I had to get it in front of the Christmas tree because we're not going to have that many days left.
It was probably like we probably only got this live. We know it's coming down after New Year's. Like Mom's going to take it down January 1st. It's gonna be January 1st. Like down.
I won't let her.
Grinch. Just saying.
Yeah, we gotta keep Mom away.
Yeah, we gotta keep Mom busy. Break more stuff in the
house. Troy, it's good to have you here, man. I really appreciate it. So look, what you do is you're kind of reading in that. So if people say like I gotta run or they gotta go, good night, something like that, then just kind of
see you later, homeboy.
Well, you make sure it's a boy before you say homeboy.
In a while, crocodile. No. Okay.
Yeah. Get busy over there. Let's see who else we got. Daz, I saw you in here. So glad to see you. Let's see what else we got going on. Let me get my handy dandy notes out here. So yeah, so Abundant Acres, they lost their power, and so we're going to hopefully we will have them on. That is the goal, to have them on. Now they're willing to run a generator. It's funny because she even said, I was talking to Angie, and she said to me, she was like, well, the show must go on or something along those lines. And she's like, we'll get a generator going and we'll see what we can do with the ring light that we have. And she's like, but isn't that like homesteading?
Oh yeah.
And it's so true, because, you just got to pick the pieces up and keep rolling with what you got. You can't always. Better. You can't always have everything the way you want it. Perfection is a really, really hard. And you're talking to a perfectionist here. Perfection is really hard on a homestead because most of the stuff breaks or gets destroyed before we know it. Oh, that's awesome. Look here. Oh, that one. Power is back on.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good.
That is good news. So we appreciate their willingness to drop in here for sure. Let's see what else we got going on here. I wanted to talk about, what we can do. Can you do me a favor?
Well,
2 things. I need you to go into the room, in the schoolroom,
and
get Mom's little pink book. I think it's right on the school desk.
Okay.
And then also grab my drink back there on the bar top.
All right.
And don't kick the table on your way out.
Try not to kick.
And I'll keep the people occupied while you do that.
Try not to kick the table.
So, I wanted to say something about this. This was something boring. This was something. Yeah, I'll try not to put Monica to sleep while she's driving. This was something that I wanted to talk about too. About homesteading, about ranching, farming, gardening. So many times it's so easy to give up. And that's one of the things that we always try to do, is encourage people to not give up and not quit. And one of the things about that is I got to work with a family. I'll call one of my mentors for the cattle business. They run Longhorn cows. And the thing about them is they're a great family, but the husband and the wife, they're both tough as nails, just tough as nails. But I was helping them out by taking one of their bulls that I was renting for another job. I was renting the bull, and I had to take him back to their property. And I found out that the husband, Mr. Jimmy, that he had hurt his back, and he couldn't even bend over. Now the corral panels like we have they're relatively light. Would you say?
Yeah.
Well, the ones he has are heavy duty.
They're like the solid metal ones almost.
They're not solid, but they are heavy. They're probably about 100 pounds a piece, easy.
Yeah.
Okay. This man is trying to bend down and undo the fencing. And of course I was there, and I was like, Jimmy, I'm right here, man. Let me help you. I know your back is bothering you. And, he told me, he was like, if I wait for you or anybody else to help me, the work won't get done. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? That is the true heart of a homesteader, a rancher, farmer, people who are living off the land one way or another, they don't let things stop them. It's so easy to do in this world that we live in, you know, people that are discouraging, or, you know, people that say that you can't do certain things, or just life is hard sometimes. And it's easy just to throw the towel in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All the time. People I work with or people I've worked with, it's just too easily they give up, even though something is very easy to do. I've known tons of people who've just given up because it's quote unquote too tough.
Yeah.
Farm life is not easy, but it's worth it.
Amen to that. And that's the thing is, you know, you can't, there are no sick days. There's no injury days. You know, you have to find a way to get it done, because there's animals that are relying on you to get them what they need, whether it be water, feed, whatever it may be. And the truth of it is too, the truth of it is, some animals, if you don't give them what they need, they're going to go get it, which in the end just means more work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't mean like you,
Well, I'm
just like people.
Yeah, like with the pigs.
Yeah.
Like if they want something, it doesn't matter what you have. They're going to break that fence down and take it. Water, food, whatever they want. You got to stay on top of them.
Physically on top of them?
I don't think that's possible.
I don't think I would do that.
I mean, we could try, but that'd be like a video.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we get a certain amount of likes, we might do that as a video. Pig riding.
Here, this is what you can do while we're talking. If you see some people putting up some good comments, drop it up there.
Oh, okay. Right.
Just click on it, and then if you want to remove it, just click on it again.
Gotcha.
All right, so keep an eye on it. All right, so yeah, let's see. So the Cow Emporium, hello, by the way, but they had mentioned that a cattleman or a rancher, farmer will never admit defeat, and that's because it's not an option. When you are in a place where you are determined to raise your own food, your own beef, whatever it may be, vegetables, fruits, you can't admit defeat, or else you're just going back to the grocery store, which most people, that's the whole idea, right? They're trying to find a way to get away, or trying to find a way to not have to continue to go to the grocery store. And so, you know, I just thought that was a cool story, because it is something that we have to keep in mind, to an extent, that we do have to take care of ourselves too. So you have to balance, you know, you don't want to admit defeat. You don't want to give up. You don't want to quit, but you also have to admit when you need help and find somebody who can help you. So thankfully here at the farm, I got people like Luke, got the other kids, Monica, I have brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my parents, my father-in-law now. You know, there's a lot of different options, but there are so many people out there that, you know, when they're farmers or ranchers as well. And I remember with Mr. Fred next door, he was an older gentleman. When I say older, I mean like upper 70s, low 80s. And he had hurt his back really bad. And he knew he had to reach out to me. And this was not somebody who would just reach out just to reach out. He was a very proud man. But he had to reach out to ask if we could help him feed his horses, because he could not lift a bag of food. So, so Modest Moongazer, how are you? Everybody that's in here, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you haven't had a chance yet. So yeah, so don't quit, don't give up. And so one of the things I wanted to say was, we have a video coming out either tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. It kind of depends because of Monica's schedule. It's going to kind of determine when we're dropping the video, but the video is going to be all about our accomplishments. And you can't keep yawning on the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can rewind it. Yeah, stop yawning. What is wrong with you? Monica, where in the world are you? I'm getting ready to Donald Trump this guy. You're fired.
Hold on.
No, sorry. You're fired. That's what it is.
That's where Mom is.
Fired. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Get that off the screen. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so keep fighting, keep moving forward. The video that we're going to drop is about our accomplishments, a couple of them, not all of them, obviously. And then also we're going to have some goals for the coming year. And it's so important that you do that, no matter if you're on a farm or not, whether you live on a homestead or not, wherever you are in life. Those are things that you should do. You should try to set up goals for you. Do you have goals for next year?
Not right now.
Well, what are you waiting for? You got like a little over 24 hours, man.
I don't know.
All right, man. Well, I recommend that you set some goals for yourself. You know, it's some that are obtainable, some that are relatively easy to obtain, and then some that are way out there to give you something to shoot for. And so that's kind of what we're doing. And this is kind of like a vlog, if you will, this video that will be tomorrow. But one of the biggest things that we wanted to do was record this video for ourselves, because we want to be able to go back and look at what we've accomplished in 2021 and then what our goals are. So next year around this same time, we're going to do the same thing, go back and look at what we have going on. My number one goal is to survive 2022. All right. Well, hey, that's a good goal. You survived 2021. So it can't be any worse than 2021, right?
Well, I mean, 2020 was worse.
2020 was worse. You're right.
Worse. I mean,
you know what? Honestly, I forget because it's been so long. Everybody keeps saying it's going to go back to normal. And I'm like, you know what?
It's not going back to normal.
I'm not waiting for it to go back to normal. I'm just going to do things the way I normally do it.
Like you were saying, we can't take care of the animals just because we're having a bad day or a bad year. We can't take that care of them a certain way. We got to keep on going. We can't just stop because there's the Rona going around or because everyone's getting sick. Even if we're sick, we're still out there taking care of the animals.
Right on.
Good. Like we have to make mom sit down if she's sick, because she'll still go out there and be like, gotta go feed my chickens. And she'll be like an old lady out there in her little like scarf throwing out like bird seed for the chickens.
You can't say things like that in case there's old ladies in the chat.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
And Maul is in here.
Maul, you need to stop throwing feed out for the chickens.
Yeah, so it's so true. And that's the thing about Monica that a lot of people don't know. It's a great quality, but it can also be very devastating to her because she doesn't take great care of herself. Hey, you know what? We can say all this stuff. Mom can't stop us.
Yeah.
Celtic roots. What's going on, man? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's Monica is all about getting it done. And she is a worker. She will work until she can't work anymore. And then she basically crashes. And, you know, it's so important that we're taking care of ourselves and giving ourselves mental health days. And sometimes that may mean that we still go take care of the animals, still do what we're doing, but take the projects and push them off for a little bit of time so that you can get mental health. You got to get mental health. And for some people, now for me, with the type of work I do, it's very stressful at times. So for me, a lot of times when I come home to deal with the cattle, that's relaxing to me.
Mm-hmm.
How do you relax?
I go sit down, go take a shower, just kind of not really do a whole lot. Kind of go play some games or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So you're pretty much
stereotypical. Yeah, basically. I'm not as cool as you taking care of cows, but
no, well, I mean, you have to find a way to disconnect, and that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to disconnect, and sometimes it is playing video games. You know, honestly, sometimes when I go to disconnect is when I sit down and watch the little boys play Fortnite. It's something relaxing about that. Sometimes that's why, like remember when mom went on vacation for like 3.5 months
without us
and didn't take us. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, we got left everything, but it was relaxing for me to come in here and watch you play the game you were playing. You know, so you just have to find ways to relax and get your mind off of things periodically, because that's the other piece of it that we have on our goals for next year is to grow our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. But in that, we have to make sure that we're taking the proper steps to keep moving forward without overwhelming ourselves, because YouTube really is like a business. Even if you're not getting paid for it, you have to handle it like a business. You gotta find time to make content. You have to find time to edit the content. You have to find time to release it. You have to answer comments or whatever, even if it's just a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it may be. It still takes time to do all that, and that's why you got to make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself. Mr. Boots and Bounty, hello, sir. So glad that you're in here. So we got somebody in here that says they avoid Facebook, which, again, I personally don't really deal with Facebook. That's more of a Monica thing. She's the one that deals a lot with the social media, even the Instagram. There was a time where I was the one, if you go back and look at our history, I was doing a lot of posting. It was me because I was trying to help it grow. And then I kind of like swapped off, and then she took over. And so I think that that's a great thing too, is when you're working with a partner, and even people who, I've been on some people's channels as a guest on their lives, and their spouse doesn't want to be on the channel, or like the one gentleman that we had on here one time, his wife, even though she is very active in the videos and, the content that they put up, she just isn't comfortable being on the camera. So she's not physically on the camera, but she's still working on the things behind closed doors. And so, when you have a partner that you can work with, it's fantastic. And that's why a lot of times we get on certain chats and stuff like that. People will say, well, we don't know if we're talking to Monica or we're talking to Eric. And sometimes I don't tell them, sometimes I do. I just, it just depends on what the situation is. But, find ways to do that. You're not pushing anything up here, man. What's up?
I don't know what we're putting up.
I just told you.
I didn't even see that one.
Well, you gotta look at this. Is a live one. That's you're lagging a little bit on that one.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at this one and going over there and picking it up
So like this gentleman here's Celtic Roots. His Facebook is primarily for farm pics and videos. I totally get it. A lot of what we do for Facebook originally was for keeping family in the loop, and that's eventually one of the reasons why we started the YouTube channel as well. But there's a lot of platforms out there too where you can do all that on one. You can like post it somewhere and it just drops it to all the different social medias. So you probably know about that, don't you?
No, I'm not that tech savvy.
Oh, okay.
No.
These young whippersnappers nowadays.
Caleb might know. I don't know.
Side note too. Thank you, Harvey, for putting that up there. Really appreciate that. Hey, don't forget that Monica is part of a podcast / YouTube Live. The main focus is a podcast, but it does show live every Monday. I believe it's at 9 a.m. Central Time. Oh, there it is right there. Yes. Thank you, Harvey. I even had it on the screen. I still was.
I was like, wait.
Why don't you put your radio voice on and you can.
My radio voice?
Yeah. Do your radio voice and go ahead and read that.
Like, sub, watch. There's no radio voice. There's no voice. It's just my voice.
All right. So make sure you go out there and check out that show that Monica does. There's a lot of channels that are involved. Let's see. It is Boots and Bounty. Homestead is there. Lisa with Yogi Hollow is there. Country Mama Musings is there. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Who is it? Or maybe that's it. And then Casey with Ormsby Farm is over there. And if I'm forgetting anybody, forgive me and or tell me who it is. But so it's been really cool to be able to see that. They've made it to over 100 subs. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, go over there and check them out. It's called Round the Hay Bale. Round the Hay Bale. Let's get that sub count up a little bit more to support them and all the things that they're doing. They're trying to really get out there and get some really big channels involved. And I think that in order for them to do that, it will be easier if they have a lot of subs. So if we could get over there and do that. And then if you can't get there at 9 a.m. Central Time, and if you don't want to watch it, you can check it out on all the platforms for podcasts, which would be, what are they? What are the major platforms?
I only know of like iTunes. I listen to my podcast through iTunes, and I can listen to it through iTunes.
Okay, so
I've seen it.
iTunes is Apple, right? And then there's Google.
Apple,
I think, is it Google Play or is that it's Google something? I don't know. It's 3 different ones. So if you get a chance, go over there and let's see. Let's get over there and support them if we're able to. Let's see. So Nisi, I missed the first 2 lives. I'll share this out on my community tab. Really appreciate that. Actually, I was told that the podcast is actually doing pretty well. So the progress that they're having with that is good. Mm-hmm. So it's growing. It's just you got to get the word out, right? So that's always the key with everything we do. Go ahead. Oh, Apple, Google, and Spotify.
I put it up there.
There you go.
I got you this time.
Thank you.
This time.
Appreciate it. I actually saw Mom's.
Okay.
Freezer Bound Outdoors. How are you? I'm so glad that you made it in here. I don't know if I called you out earlier, but thank you for coming in. So let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. I think we got pretty much everything. Oh, and our visitors are in the green room. So usually when they're back there, I just looked down and saw them. So usually what I like to do is start talking bad about them while they're back there. And if they don't laugh, then I realize that they're probably going to be a bad interview. Mm-hmm. So they actually were just laughing. So hopefully it wasn't a mercy laugh.
It probably was. Let's be honest.
You think it was a mercy laugh?
Probably.
Oh, shoot. I hope it wasn't. So it's going to be a great interview. And let's see. It's a little bit early, but they're back there. And I think, are you guys good back there? So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. Oh, 2 thumbs up from Mr. Kenny, and then 1 thumbs up from Angie. So I guess she's kind of ready. All right. So let's see. Let me say this real quick before we get on. Little Frenchie, thank you for the reminder that the next guest on this coming Monday, which will be the new year, 2022. Guys, I can't believe it's here already. But the next guest on the podcast is Sandy from Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona, and it's going to be awesome. And so she has got thousands of subscribers, and I'm excited to see what she has to say. The cast, by the way, I'm a little bit biased, but Monica is my favorite by far. If you want to drop in your chat who your favorite is, feel free to do so, and hopefully it's Monica, or you might get timed out. I don't know. But Zombie Prepper, how you doing, man? So glad that you made it in here. Carolina Hill Country, thank you so much for coming in here. Appreciate it. Anybody that's new in here, we're getting ready to call up our guest here. And you know what? Let me just go ahead and let me get him up in here. Let's see if we do that. We'll add him to the stream. Kenny and Angie from Abundant.
What happened to the trash talk? You're not supposed to bring us up till you trash talk first.
Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do it differently today. I'm going to actually mute you so that you can't talk over me.
Now you're thinking.
How are you tonight?
Good. No complaint.
I'm so happy to see that you have your electricity back on.
Yes. I was just like, are you kidding? And then after we got our electricity back on, our internet went out, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not joking. It I was talking on the chat, and then you froze up, and I was just like, what is going on? And I look up, and our internet goes off. And I told Kenny, I was like, I don't care. If we have to go to a hotel room, we are going on. So I just stopped everything. I just started praying. Yep. I was just like, you can just move on out.
Be done.
Well, that's some serious dedication right there. I feel like,
goodness.
I mean, I'm not the Jay Leno show, so I think you would have been all right if we would have had to put it on pause or something. But I appreciate the dedication. That goes right in line with what we were talking about, right? That's homesteading. You just find a way to roll with the punches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's fine, Monica. I see she's saying I'm sorry.
Yeah,
she's good.
Yeah, well, it's weird that I told her that you guys agreed to come on, and then all of a sudden she had plans that popped up. I'm like, okay.
Well, sure she did.
Kind of like her 3-month vacation.
Yeah, the thing was, poor Luke and I, we were left behind.
Again.
Can you?
Not the first time.
Do you have some music you can play in the background while we do this?
I can play a violin.
Yeah, get a
I
violin.
can't play the violin, but I can try.
We were left behind for like 3.5 months. We had no
Oh,
help.
now it's 3.5 months.
Yeah, the story kind of
Yeah.
grew. It sounds better if we say 3.5 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It'll
does.
be 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So
When she left, I didn't even have a beard.
me neither.
You don't still.
Oh,
Okay. So
she takes
you
off.
know-
She'll go to church or whatever, and she says, "Hey, I'm not going to be home after a while. I got to go do this, and I got to run here, and I got to run there." I said, "Well, that's great. I think it's awesome. You're going to go help those people, but who's going to feed me?"
It's one time a year. There's a girls' retreat at church. One time a year, and it's like 2 nights, and it's the same thing. It's as far as he's concerned, it's a month.
Yeah.
now, Kenny, I do have to ask this. You're not the guy that doesn't know how to cook anything for himself, are you?
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yep, I'm that guy.
I mean, there's got to be cereal or something.
A
Yeah.
cold ravioli.
Cold ravioli right out of the can. That's a meal, though. I enjoy
No,
that.
his
Yeah.
cooking is those hot and spicy noodles.
Yeah, the ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, do you cook those or you just eat them straight out of the bag?
You just pour straight water in it, and you're done. You're ready to go. 3 minutes. It's warm. It's ready to go.
Okay. Well, all right. So I wanted to ask, since we were talking about, these moments of, homesteading life and farmers, ranchers, whomever, finding a way to push through. Has there ever been a time for either one of you guys where you've found your back up against the wall and you're like, you know what? This isn't going to stop me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to make this happen.
Well, the beginning of this spring, I hurt my back like really bad, and then he's actually still on light duty from a back injury, and you just do what you got to do.
Yep.
I mean, animals still need fed. Everything. You still got to water. You got to do it.
Garden needs put in. It's all got to be done. So you just push through, or you ask for help. I mean, and we have asked for some help from our son, and usually we'll get some people come over and chip in and help out if it's something heavy, something or a lot of extra. And
Well,
get
at
it
the
done.
beginning of spring, when I threw my back out, this was the first year he's ever even helped in the garden. So he doesn't really know much about gardening. He's actually learning.
Mhm.
And, but I mean, I was out, and my son and granddaughter and him, I pretty much sat on the ground, did what I could, and just was like, do this, do that. I need that there. I mean, but we got the garden in.
That's gardening. That's
Yeah,
all.
I mean, when you're talking about, especially with gardening, I mean, that's super taxing to the body. One of the things we do every other year is do green beans. And I don't know if you've ever grown bush beans, green beans, but it's too tall to work from your knees. It's too short to stand up.
Yep.
And so you basically find yourself hunched over for hours trying to pick and get everything together. And this coming spring is our on year. So we're going to have to plant them, and I am not really looking forward to it. But, last 2 years ago when we did it last time, we were able to get 80 quarts. And so Monica told me in her goals this morning when we were prepping our goals video that she wanted to do 85 quarts. And I'm like looking at her thinking, you got to be crazy.
She done fell in her head.
So, one of the things when I was looking at your videos, I noticed that here of late you were kind of restructuring everything on your homestead. And so before we get too far, for folks in the chat who don't know who you are, can you quickly kind of give like a rundown as far as like, how many acres you have, the different types of animals, and maybe just a quick idea of, fruits and vegetables that you may grow?
Well, we're on just about 12 acres. I'd say probably five of it's wooded, maybe six.
I'd say, yeah, 5.
We actually have done homesteading for a long time, but then life happened and we kind of had to step away for a little bit. So we are in the process of coming back, but this time we have to change things up because we did all of our mistakes then. So
That's a good way to put it.
We're trying to minimize as much as we can. This year, all that we've had is chickens and pigs. But in the past, we've done chickens, pigs, ducks, guineas,
Goats, peacocks. We've had a lot of stuff within.
The only thing that we haven't had is cows, which actually was one of the reasons and one of the ways we found you guys was because of all your cow videos.
Yep.
And I was like, look, here we go.
Yeah.
Just follow.
Yeah. And as a kid, I mean, my father had cows off and on throughout the years. And
well, I was talking about us.
Oh,
we've never had cows.
We have never had cows. No.
And then I do a lot of gardening. That's where I would say half of our food comes from. Half of it's meat and the other half is the garden. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a huge garden, but I mean, it's just the two of us. So other people come over and see our garden and they're like, it's just two of you. And it's just like, yeah, but we eat. We like to eat a lot.
I like food.
So, and when you have a garden, Kenny, you don't have to worry about cooking anything, right? You can just walk out there and start gnawing on everything.
Well, I have done that before. That got me in trouble during harvesting carrots because I was eating more than I was putting in.
I was like, I need some of those for this winter, You
just break the end off and start eating away.
Like, go over there, the sweet peas, eat those.
So one of the things I noticed too in your garden, and I was kind of binge watching a lot of your videos to try to familiarize myself a little bit more with what you guys do. I noticed something very interesting that first of all, what state are you all in?
Indiana.
You are in Indiana. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that I found very interesting was the fact that your garden was around, I guess, are those fruit trees or do you still have it there?
Yes.
Okay. So, a lot of times down here in Texas, that's one of the things that we battle is trying to stop things from basically just being burnt to pieces because of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was interested in that because I first saw it and I was like, you know what, that's a pretty good idea. But then you were talking about the tilling and things like that, having to be careful around the root system of a tree. So do you find that it is helpful doing it around the trees or is it more problematic?
I would say the main reason we did it around the trees is because, like I said, we're trying to not make the same mistakes.
Right.
But we're trying to get everything in as small an area as we can, simply because, I mean, we're old. So, and we're only going to get older. So if we can get everything like in the smallest area that we can, then that's one area. Because before we had I had my vegetable garden here. I had my herb garden over there. The chickens were there. The pigs were there.
Pigs were way over there.
Hauling water to goats. And I mean, we took up the whole 6 acres and we paid for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because hauling water is such a pain.
Yes.
And so we thought, well, if this time when we do it, let's try to make it as compact as we possibly can. Mm-hmm. But as far as with the trees, it actually is working out great. But we do a no-till. So we're doing the Back to Eden garden and okay. I love it. Yeah. But we also have clay soil. I mean, nasty clay soil. And so it's helping us in that area too. But with the mulch being there, it's almost made its own little microclimate, I guess you would say. Like we just lost the leaves off of our trees. What, like maybe 2 weeks ago?
Maybe 2
and
weeks
we're in
ago.
Indiana.
Yeah. All the other trees, the leaves are off of them. But
So when you in your garden, do you use the trees? Because I had noticed on one of the comments earlier, they had mentioned, here you go, put that one up. There you go. Yeah. So they had, they said they prefer growing upwards like bean poles or pole beans and field peas, take less room and bigger harvest. Do you all use your trees as a means for that, or?
No,
Okay.
just because I'm afraid of, like, I don't know, the more things you have around it, because we do the Back to Eden garden, we have to have everything pushed away from the base of the trees, just
Okay.
because we have the ants.
Right.
The ants were just like annihilating the base of the tree. So we had to push back all of the mulch because, I mean, they were just tearing it up.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, what kind of ants you got going on up there?
Well, it was red ants and black ants. So it was the combination.
It's like the carpenter ants.
Yeah.
But-
and we tried to do the ant army war, and that worked for a raised bed, but it didn't work for.
What do you mean?
Well, they say if you take a shovelful of ants from this area and then go at least 5 feet away and another shovelful, and then you swap them, that they'll actually kill each other.
Yeah, they'll kill each other.
Two different colonies
going after each other, so they will kill each other.
So you just keep doing that until basically they're all dead.
Wow, you ever heard of that before?
No, I mean, we usually just go with an easier route instead of like a war. We just put some oats on them. Apparently, the oats make them like explode or something.
Yeah, I'd heard that from a guy. His wife he was actually an exterminator, and his wife was extremely allergic to a lot of different things. And he was one that told me that ants cannot digest oats. So if you put oats out and the ants take them back to their colony, they'll eat them, and then they basically will die. And so we had like, we would go to Costco and we had the 2 ginormous bags, and one was for human consumption and the other one stayed outside in the barn. So whenever anybody saw it, they would go grab the bag and just throw them down. Normally it was at nighttime, because if you put it out during the daytime, then all the chickens want to eat everything.
Oh yeah.
Our chickens are free range, so they just, run around eating everything, down here, right there. So yeah. So Sandy says cornmeal also. So
Yeah, I have heard of cornmeal. Hadn't heard of oats, but I've heard of cornmeal.
okay. Yeah.
But we have like regular Indiana ants. Our red ants ain't like your southern ants. They don't try to like kill people or anything.
Yeah. No, we're originally from the Maryland area. So when we moved down here, of course, we knew because we'd been down here several times, but the whole fire ant thing is ridiculous. And for some reason, I'm extremely allergic, and they always find a way to get into your boot, or they get into your pants, or you go to weed something in the garden, or you go to pick something. I mean, even last week, Monica was in the greenhouse, and, it's got a felt bottom, and then it's got all the pebbles and stuff on top. And yet they were still in there for some reason. I don't know why.
Because they're evil.
They are evil, yes. But yeah, I've definitely been attacked one too many times, and I absolutely detest. It kind of reminds me of an episode of Duck Dynasty a long time ago that we watched. And you remember that episode?
Yeah.
They were getting ready for hunting season, and they went in duck blind. And if you've ever watched Duck Dynasty, they like to blow everything up. Well, they decided that it was a better idea, instead of spraying or putting something down, that they would just light the whole thing on fire. And I never understood that until I moved down here. And then after that, it's like I would have no problem just burning them out of every place I could find them.
That sounds like a side kind of idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. The kids end up in them all the time. That's so true. You know, it's kind of funny though with our kids. They learn pretty quick not to do that. And Monica is huge into the homeopathy. So as soon as someone gets bit by an ant, they run straight to her. And then usually her or Abigail will escort them inside, and they start hitting it with the lavender and, you know, all this different stuff. And so,
It's a good thing.
so really cool. So, so those trees that you have, are those fruit trees?
Yes.
Yep. Two of them
So-
are peach trees. 2 of them are Fiji apples. And then the other one's a Granny Smith.
2 Granny Smith.
Is it 2 Granny Smiths?
Mhm.
Okay, so now I do have a question because the fruit tree thing is not my jam. And I am trying. So are you successful with your fruit trees? Are you getting fruits that are edible?
Yes.
So what do
Yes.
you do? What is your tips, tricks to have a good harvest and not let all the ants and all the other animals live in them?
Well, I think there's 2 or 3 different ones. Obviously, the ants. If you do have ants, obviously put Vaseline around the bottom of them. The ants won't go up the tree. And they'll get stuck there.
Okay.
All right. The other one is uncontrollable foreseen weather. Like we had a snow in, what was that? May.
Mhm.
We had a snow in May, and the blossoms are already on the trees. So the farthest one north did not produce but 1 peach, and you can't do anything about that. I mean, weather's weather, but I'm trying to think, and I cannot remember how many pounds of peaches we got off that one tree. I'd have to look it up. I got it wrote down somewhere, but the one tree did do all right. I mean, it really did. And I think the other part of that,
And it wasn't even it didn't even do great just because we had that late freeze.
freeze, snow.
Like we didn't think we were going to get anything because it was full, all of them were full bloom when the snow hit, and it was just like, oh no. And then we was like, okay, well, it was a light snow, but then it snowed again back to back, and it was just like, okay, we're probably done for. We're not getting fruit this
Right.
year.
Yeah. But as far as like spray and stuff like that, we haven't really done that.
We don't do sprays.
We don't do the sprays. And another big one is keep it trimmed.
And we're bad about that.
Keep it trimmed.
Okay. I don't even know what to say to this on the screen. I don't even know what to say.
Sad.
So one of the comments that I put up from Sandy here, have you tried Tanglefoot on the trunks of the fruit tree? Do you know what that is? I have no idea what that even is.
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
Okay.
We used Vaseline that time, and it worked out wonderfully.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked out good. Nothing. They didn't go up it no more. They couldn't get through it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing that, you know, for me, I know we're all about as natural as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the folks I've talked to, you know, they've suggested some different things for trees, but, you know, I'm trying not to douse it with a bunch of chemical. That's my big thing.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I do like to plant garlic and onions. If you can plant those around the trees, that does help. I mean, I don't know if it actually helps. In my brain, it helps because, I mean, not too much likes garlic and onions. So,
Yeah.
Kenny, do you like garlic and onion? It looked like you looked at her like you wanted to say something about that.
Oh no, she was right. I was like, I forgot all about that. She does. No, I like garlic and onion.
Okay.
Oh,
when I started putting the garlic all around it, he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, we're not using the space for anything else. I'm going to put garlic, and nothing likes garlic, so everything will stay away from our trees." And he was just like, "Okay,
okay.
it worked."
I am not the gardener of the house.
I am not a gardener. I am a grower.
There is a difference.
Oh,
There
okay.
is a difference.
Okay. Throwing some shade on all the gardeners out there. I see
No,
that.
gardeners know what they're doing. I'm a grower. I just need food.
I hear you. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yep.
So, Kenny, I wanted to ask you a question about, because I did see some of the videos. I want to ask you, if you don't mind sharing, what do you do for a living?
I am an equipment mechanic.
For what?
Everything, heavy equipment.
Okay. I was guessing
I
when
also work on golf carts.
when I was watching some of the videos, I was like, I bet this guy is an elevator technician.
Nope.
The funny part is they're trying to get him to go to. There's an elevator company that's trying to get him.
Yep. Trying to get me to go work for him. But...
Yeah. Yeah. It was the video about the armature that I saw. I was like,
oh yeah. That was actually in a golf cart.
okay.
I went down to use a guy's lathe and he didn't have time for me to be in there. So I just put it right back up in the golf cart and I sit there and spun the wheel and I just stoned it back up in there. I just left it up in there.
That's a typical practice for elevator. Well, in the old days, they used to use the armatures and stuff like that. But nowadays, everything's so computer controlled and powered that they don't really use that. But that's getting off topic now. So,
oh no, you're fine. I understand. Bulldozers are electric. Bobcats are electric now. Everything's going electric.
Yeah. So do you have a tractor?
No.
I wish.
We've had some throughout the years, and I just keep selling them. I need to buy one and keep one this time. It's really
well. We keep buying like, oh, that's a good deal tractor, and then it doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's either too big or it's too small. You know, because only having 12 acres, it's not like we need anything huge.
Right.
But if it's too small, then it's kind of worthless.
So if you do decide to move on to larger animals like cows, how do you, on the off seasons for hay and stuff like that, how would you move the hay?
Well, that's the good part. Our field is actually planted in clover and everything. So the neighbor right now, he takes the hay off of it right now.
Okay.
So if he does that, we'll just have him bale it up and push it over there to the side. We'll just have him come over.
Well, and we do have a forklift.
I do have a forklift. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we partner with a lot of different families with cattle, and we have played with some different ideas as to how to move hay bales. And so the last idea that we had come up with was making basically a sled out of some 2x4s and a sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, the cool thing about some of our videos, you may have seen my dad pop in there. My dad is, and I know that's where I get it from. We're both mechanically minded. He's more on the gas engine side, and I'm probably more on the electric side. But between the two of us, we usually come up with some different ideas. But a lot of times, it's his ideas. He is a true out of the box thinker to come up with different ways. And he's also, it's kind of cool because of his age. You would think that he would not. The first step would not be getting on YouTube. But that is his first job is let me go see what everybody else has done and either copy the idea or
make it better.
Yep. So true.
Well,
yeah. We actually have one of our videos. Last time I looked, it's up over 14,000 views. It's a short, but it's about him making a homemade post hole digger. And he's attempted it a couple different times. It's not successful because of the land we have down here. It's borderline clay.
Oh, gotcha.
And so it's just the torque on a drill, even a corded drill, is not strong enough to punch through. And you got to love him, man. He keeps wanting to go back, and he's like, I'm like, no, Dad, we're done. We cannot keep going back to this idea. We're gonna have to move on.
He's gonna figure it out.
He'll get it figured out. I'm sure he will.
He is. He's good for that for sure. So this
hay bale thing, I'd like to touch on that for a minute. I think the sled thing's a great idea. I think it'll work fine. We did our hog house same way. Put on a piece of plywood, drill 2 holes with it, hook onto it with a quad, and move it to the next paddock. I mean, that's how we moved our chicken house. I mean,
Yeah.
same way. So I'm sure it'll do it.
Yeah, and one of the things too was that we were looking at, because one of the houses, the guy, his wife wasn't really capable of helping because she was pregnant. The other house, it was kind of, one or the other was usually home. So the second thing that we had to figure out was, how are we going to get the round bale onto the sled? And so that one of the things that Dad had come up with was taking a piece of rebar or something along that line and basically putting it on the back of the hay bale. So, if it's round and your vehicle is over here, you'd punch it in on the back side with a hook.
Yep.
And then take a tow strap around it, and then just do like a come along or a strap of some sort to
Sure.
get it to roll onto the sled, and then you'd be able to move it. And so that's, again, that's the thing, is a lot of times you gotta figure out a way to make it happen.
Oh yeah.
And thankfully, if you have a neighbor that has a tractor, it's like, hey, while you're out, can you just take that hay bale and throw it over there, and I'll give you some eggs, or I owe you one type thing.
Yeah.
And next door neighbors, it's always easy to do that, but
We used
so
to do that a lot. We would trade our hay off of our field for grain for the animals. We did that a lot. We just bartered back and forth all the time.
right. And that,
Hay bale, my first thought is a hood, like a vehicle hood.
Oh yeah,
So
just like a big
slide
old
around.
sled. Yeah, car hood. Absolutely.
sorry, I was giving some direction to the newbie over here. Question from Projects with Paul. Yes, I have a tractor. The funny story is that when we first moved in here, we only had three cows relatively, in the first winter. And so what we did was we were able to find some very cheap.
It wasn't yawn. It wasn't.
That was a yawn, man.
wasn't.
You gotta stop doing that.
Wasn't
Now
yawn.
the guests are feeling like they're boring you. Anyway, yeah. So we were able to find some really cheap, inexpensive square bales, which obviously are very easy to move.
Mhm.
But when we started adding to our herd, we realized from a money perspective, it just was not cost effective to keep buying all these square bales. And so we had to move to the round bales. So the round bales are, for people who don't know, are roughly about 5 foot tall by 5 foot tall. And they're usually about 4 foot wide. And so a good round bale, and this is, some of these things you figure out the hard way. A good round bale, you can't take your hand on the side and push it in. Somebody who doesn't pack it properly or is trying to scam you will loosely pack it, and you can put your whole arm in that thing.
Right.
Now, earlier this season, we always start getting ready for hay bales way ahead of time. And so this guy that I found out was selling it, because I have the upper hand when you're ahead of the game, you have the upper hand. When it gets middle of winter and you're looking for hay bale, you do not have the upper hand.
Yep.
So the guy said, it's this size, and it was like 4 foot tall. And I'm like, I'm not sure about that. And so he was willing to drop it off for me to take a look at. And the first thing I did is, I grabbed the clump of it and I smelled it. That was the first test. And the second test was me putting my hand into the hay bale. And I'm not kidding you, man. My hand went, whoop, it just went right in. And I thought, there's a reason why you're only charging that amount of money, because good and well you can't sell that, especially if anybody knows what they're looking for. So little tip there for anybody else out there: make sure you know what you're buying, and make sure you're building relationships with people you can trust, man. Because a lot of these people out there, it's frustrating when you meet people that are trying to take advantage of you instead of doing the right thing. So anyway, but yeah, to answer that question, yes, I have a tractor that I have to have. If I don't have it, it's going to be a lot of work for me and the kids. And we have had to do that when our original tractor broke. And Okay, see, this is why Monica. Okay, put mom in timeout. Monica, mom, and
I don't do
Abigail,
that.
put them in timeout.
I'm out.
We're going to teach them a lesson for doing this to us. Anyway, but yeah, it's important to know what you're looking for, and that's really with anything that we're doing. What are you doing? Don't hit the buttons, man. I was
I
just
don't
kidding.
know.
If you
I
put
was
mom
gonna
in
time
timeout, man, she's going to have your head when she gets back here.
How can she? She'd be timed out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she can't get me if she's timed out.
Hey, fellas, don't forget you want to eat this week too.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she can go off vacation, a 3-month vacation again.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We have plenty of ramen noodles back there.
Heck yeah.
But you know, it's so important. Hickory Croft, how are you? Mennonite Farmhouse, great to have you all in here. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it's so important to make sure you know what you're looking for. And you know, this is one of the things I learned too from these. I don't know if you follow Hickory Croft or not, but
Yes, they're good.
okay, very smart folks. I learned from them that the value of the grass, or the what do you call that? The nutrients
yeah.
are better on the second and third cut. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that I do ask people when I'm purchasing, I ask them what cut it is and things like that. But I didn't know that was a thing. So always surround yourself by smart people, man. That's my message right there.
And if you can't smell it, it ain't hay, it's grass.
So, all right. So we got, so I didn't get the chance to watch your newest video of something that you got for free or something. Why don't you tell us about that?
My brother called and said, "Hey, we've got some stuff over here you want," and it was the fiberglass. What's that called?
Plastic lattice.
Yeah,
That's it.
fiberglass lattice.
Yeah.
And it was like some of the pieces. I mean, it was pretty small, but some of it was like 2 foot, and then there was a couple
Full
full
sheets.
sheets, and it was free. It
Yeah.
was like, I mean, and it's not like the cheap, flimsy stuff. It's not going to rot. So it was just like, yeah, I'm all about it.
Chow.
So what about, what do you plan to do with it? Do you already have an idea, or this is something that you were just going to kind of stockpile?
Well, he said, "Do you want it?" So it was like, well, yeah. We didn't have a plan for it when we picked it up, but
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of uses for it, but I do think I don't want to say that he came up with the better idea, but he did come up with the idea to make a compost bin out of it. And I've never had a compost bin. I've always just had piles. So to have an actual compost bin, you know, I would feel very bougie. You know, I'd be like, look at me high classing over here.
Well, I mean, some things in life you got to be bougie, I guess. I mean, I don't know that I would ever consider our compost bin bougie, but I guess.
I mean, the first one was.
The first one was what? What are you going to say? Say it.
Oh,
Was it bougie, or it was low? It was low end.
it's low end.
It was low end. Yeah, it was.
Dude,
low end.
mine's not even a bin. Mine's just literally
Just a
it's a pile.
Yeah, just a pile.
Well, what I would say is, you know, that was one of the first things we wanted to do, was start a compost bin just for scraps alone. And so we built our first one, three-sided out of pallets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, pallets make a wonderful compost bin.
Yeah.
They really do.
Mhm.
And the good thing about them is, especially if you get the ones with the slats where they have a small gap, it'll allow that air to kind of get through.
Yep.
And if you have chickens, of course, they'll turn that for you. But we outgrew that way too fast. And so our bougie compost bin, if you can say that, can you really have a bougie compost bin, especially if it's filled with poop?
Absolutely.
I feel like ours
It's not
is
in a pile and it's in something. That's pretty high class. That's bougie to me. I mean,
Well, our bougie, we'll say that then. Our
I
bougie,
guess, yeah.
is it?
I don't know. I'm not too hip with that.
I don't know. I don't know the categories on bougie compost, but ours is basically like a 10 by 10 foot bin right now. And the reason why I had to do that was because we kept piling it up, and between the chickens and then the heavy rain, it kept disappearing.
Oh yeah.
So we took some old telephone poles, cut them in half, and then created a bin. And then that way I can now take my bucket on my tractor and use it as a backstop when I go in to dig it up. And it is a huge saver on the back of having to fill up the bucket.
What, you don't like
I
going
love
out there with a
having-
pitchfork and rotating that and picking it up and what?
No. No, I gave that up a while ago. I realized that it will compost down. You leave it there long enough, it will compost down. And so we start basically from the spring when we fill our garden with all the old compost, then we work our way and fill it back up again. And by the time the season rolls around, it's good to go.
Yeah, see, hickory crop. We keep making piles in different areas. Yep.
Yeah.
That's me.
Well,
I got a pile here and a pile there.
yeah, sometimes that's a lot less work too, though, because you don't have to carry it from one end to the other or over there or wherever. So.
Yeah, like I got super lazy this year and I literally put it in the middle of our orchard. So it's like, it's right there by everything.
Yep.
Super lazy this round.
Be easy to move around. Won't have to go far with it.
So it looks like gardening with Goody, Jason. He says his is bougie, like Natty and a styrofoam. Is he talking about the beer, Natty?
I think so. I'm not sure.
The song.
I don't know the song. Are you going to sing for us?
Yes,
No.
yes. I'll be right back. I'll get her a microphone.
You do not want me singing. What's that? It's the TikTok.
I
The
don't know.
Applebee's.
Okay.
You know what I'm
I'm-
talking about?
I'm
Does
not
that
sure. I'm not.
You don't do TikTok, do you?
No.
I don't do
crazy
TikTok.
like Applebee's on a date night? I'm not going to go any further because I might accidentally sing and I don't want to hurt everybody's ears. There's some good people in here that they need their ears.
All right. So, yeah, it looks like some of these folks know exactly
Yeah,
what that
see,
is.
they're singing it.
Okay.
Let
Okay.
them sing because you don't want this. You do not want this singing at all.
So, switching gears a little bit, we're talking about obviously you guys are the last guests for the year of 2022.
That's
So,
your last.
what? There you go. I wish I had some confetti that I could kind of like get it there.
That would have been
Yeah.
awesome.
So you got some sound effects too. Look at that. We got some
Yeah,
sound effects right
Let's
here.
go.
So just out of curiosity, what this year for you, what has been maybe a couple of accomplishments or maybe one from each of you? What is some accomplishments that you've done at the homestead?
Mine's easy. Getting the garden.
The Back to Eden garden set up and going.
That's an easy one for me.
Would you say, just touching on that for a second with the garden back to Eden, is that's new for you this year?
Well,
Yes, this garden is new for us this year.
yeah, the whole garden is new.
Yeah, it's
Like that garden is completely new. The Back to Eden thing, not so new. I just didn't know that it was an actual method. I've done wood chips in the garden for a long time, but I did it because I was lazy and I didn't want to do all the weeding. So, and I would always plant. My garden was more like a flower garden, almost, I guess you would say, because I never planted rows. I planted. Hi, Monica. I planted like spots and areas, and then I just mulched everything. But I did it out of complete laziness. But then when I found out that there's an actual method, and it's called Back to Eden gardening, and then with our faith and everything, that it just kind of goes with it. It was like that's it.
We've been Back to Eden garden for like 20 years and didn't even know it.
Yeah, we didn't know it was a thing. I thought it was just being lazy, but no, it's not lazy. It's a method.
Well, congratulations on not being lazy and finding out that you're not lazy.
That's one of the that's hi, by the way. Hi. I'm so sorry, everybody. I am so sorry. Look, I gotta get up in here real quick. I am so sorry for leaving Eric to tell all his stories, and y'all had to just sit here and listen to his stories. I thought Kenny was gonna fall out of his chair and fall asleep. I know you're all on that comfy couch. I was worried. I kept telling Abigail I need to drive faster. The people at Chick-fil-A took forever. I was trying to be real gentle because they're Christian people in there. They're all like, have a nice night. We appreciate you. And I'm like, y'all better give me some cookies or something. I need some coupons. You made me wait 30 minutes. My husband, it's important. I got it somewhere to be. Anyway.
Where's Luke? Where's Luke?
So you've been doing Back to Eden Garden, and I was excited about that because my friend Carmen over at Cheese and Love and Homesteader, she does it. And see, right there, Carmen, her stuff is awesome. She actually got on that. I don't know if you've ever seen on Instagram that the people who grow food thing. It's like this big like Instagram. No, it's the Instagram post thing. And it's like people who garden or people who grow food. And it's like all around the world, they showcase people who do like gardening. She got on that. I mean, there's
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Oh, it's so cool because her Back to Eden gardening is awesome, right? Yeah. So Eric has been awesome. He's usually awesome. He can just get a little sleepy sometimes. Anyway, I asked a question in the chat earlier and he didn't. He just ignored it.
You were in timeout.
I was asking because I was driving.
You were in timeout.
Have you guys thank you, Scott. Have you guys had do you guys have garden plans for 22? Sorry.
I already started today. Today it's already, there's actually a map. There's a map. She just drew it.
Did make your plan?
Home from work. Oh yeah.
I'm working
it's
on it. He come home and he was just like, what is that? And I was like, well, I've got to figure out what I'm growing. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, he harasses me about my garden all the time.
Okay, so
he harasses me about everything.
Is there something new you're going to grow? Are you trying something new this year?
Last year I was disappointed because of the seed situation, because we didn't have like a big garden for quite a few years. So my like seed bank is completely, I shouldn't say empty, but empty for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the process of trying to rebuild my seed bank. Well, last year I didn't have any tomatoes to save the seeds because, I just bought like what they had. And then this year trying to order the seeds were already gone. So I told Kenny, I was like, it is not happening again this year because me having to live without spaghetti sauce, I don't know what I'm going to do. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do for this year. So like, I'm going to have to buy actual like
pasta sauce.
Ugh.
No, yeah. You just make it from your tomato paste and tomato sauces and stuff that you have. Just kind of, bare minimum. Yeah, it's kind of sucky that way.
But
so I don't have.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to have to use hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did you buy seeds already this year or start looking at the seeds you're going to buy?
Oh yeah, I've got my seeds. We're good.
So I went to MI Gardener and I've been looking at the seeds there and he's got a fully stocked store. So I am like getting ready to order a bunch of stuff because I've grown heirlooms before, but I've never kept my seeds before this year. So this is the year I'm finally keeping the seeds. So what kind of tomatoes are you hoping to get? She got her list.
It's all right here. Trust me.
Yay!
It actually is.
It's right here.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the usual San Marzano, Apalka, Jersey Giant paste, Amish paste, Abe Lincoln, Mortgage Lifter, but I am gonna do a couple new ones. I've not tried Pantano Romanesco. I've not tried those before. So that'll be a new one.
Ooh.
Olron Red Plum. Never tried those.
Now, how do you decide what you want?
Well,
do you just like peruse the catalog and go,
yeah,
pretty?
Seed catalogs just kind of I get drawn in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went in the room last night and she's got them all laid out. She's sitting there looking at them all. She started putting them in the mail.
When you were, well, you guys probably don't because you guys are, but us old people.
The Sears catalog?
Yeah.
We have Montgomery Wards and Sears. We did both.
So that's my grown up version. Once those seed catalogs come in, I start circling everything. I leave them out, in hopes that, You know, my husband loves me enough to buy me seeds, but he doesn't. So I have to buy my own. But I do what I can.
Well, I buy seeds and then I'm like, hi, Eric, look what you just bought us.
Look what you just got.
He'll
I'm
go
like,
out and he'll be like, he'll come in and he's like, seriously, more? And I'm like, well, they're different. And he's like, how many carrots do we need?
How many pounds of carrots do we need?
A lot.
oh, yeah, let's see this one right here.
Oh, looky there, Michael.
Oh,
No, don't put that up there. Take that off.
Are you going to get rabbits? Are you going to get some rabbits?
No, we're not.
So
We're not.
awesome.
No
You
rabbits.
want to come? You can come visit Texas and grab some. If you make the drive, you can have them for free. I'll talk to my daughter. She
I'm
won't.
I'm gonna do a video on bringing her.
Did we jam or
rabbits
did they
out.
jam?
I'm going to do a video on it here real soon before Rabbit goes out of
you're going to
season.
get kicked off YouTube.
Before it goes out of season, I'm gonna bring her home some rabbits.
Have you ever eaten rabbit, Angie? You eat rabbit, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was funny because our daughter, when we moved here, she wanted rabbits before. And I was like, we can have rabbits, but you got to eat them. And she was like, okay. I mean, she was like 9 and a half. She wasn't even 10 yet. And she was like, all right, that's cool. I was like, okay, that was easier than I thought.
It's funny. Our granddaughter, she's the same way, with the exception of chickens. Because she's like, well, you can't kill them because I won't get eggs. And it's like, well, after a while, they quit laying eggs.
Yeah.
So that's when they turn into chicken soup. And she's like, no. And I was like, yeah, that's just how it works. And she's like, but she always gets to keep one. She names one, and she's been doing it since she was 3 years old. But every time we get like a new batch of chickens, she always names one of them Jesus. And then Jesus gets to live forever.
That's because you can't kill it. She's like, you can't be killing Jesus.
Exactly.
Jesus walks the earth forever.
So obviously we have Jesus, and she's going on through. She'll be 4 this year, so you know she's pretty much done.
Oh my word!
Obviously, I'm ready for a new Jesus, but we're not allowed.
But we're not allowed.
Oh my God,
We had chicken for she cooked 2 chickens for Thanksgiving, and when I did, she looked at it and she goes, "Where'd you get the chicken from?" And I said, "Jesus." She goes,
You better not.
"How dare you?" Of
As
course,
she's eating it.
yeah, she's eating it, but yeah,
Wow.
she still ate it. Oh yeah,
Well, one year we got these lady down the road.
I'm
She
not
was
going
like,
to be allowed to talk again.
oh
am I?
yeah, just wait. This lady down the road, she had a bunch of roosters and she wanted to get rid of them. And so she's like, if I give you all these roosters, would you just do something with them? And I was like, yeah, we'll just butcher them. She's like, good, just take them. So we had all these roosters. Well, they were so funny looking because they had these like mullets that were like multicolored. Like they look like mullets on a rooster. It was the funniest thing. Well, my brother-in-law, his dad, they're like estranged from one another. And his dad was this wrestler back in the day. And he had this like bleached blonde mullet with like brown, like dark black hair. And so we looked really silly. And so we named all of these birds with their mullets. We called them Barry. We just named them all Barry. So when we were killing them, we were like, there goes another Barry. And we were just, and he was having too much fun with that. He was like, yeah, there we go. Killing all the berries. And I was like, that's really rude, but kind of funny. So he got his revenge out, I think, on his dad. For all the roosters.
At Christmas time, we're eating, I made one of our big hams, and my brother, he's fine with it, but his wife and his 2 daughters, they are not about the homestead life.
Nope. It's got to come from the store.
So we're sitting there and they just keep talking about, oh my gosh, this ham is so good. This ham is so good. And I was like, yeah. Growing right in the backyard. And my one niece, she goes,
Drops her fork.
Really?
It was over.
She's like, that's awful. And I was like, how is that awful?
I know what they ate. I know how they were treated.
They had a better life than the ham that you're going to get out of the store.
Yep. They're going to taste better, and they had lived better than that bacon you ate last week. So that's what I always think too. Okay. You have another question?
Well, I think Kenny was, thank you, first of all, for letting me talk again.
You're welcome.
But we were talking about your accomplishments for 2021. So it was Kenny's turn to say what he had accomplished.
Okay.
I survived. I made it.
Okay, well,
There you go.
that's an easy one. All right.
You know what? There's a bunch of them. I try to count. I try to count all my victories, whether they're big, whether they're small. I had a bunch of them. I got the winch put up in the garage, the crane. I got bunches of them. We got hogs fattened up fast. I mean, I got a bunch. I mean, I can keep going. I really can.
So let me ask you about the hogs real quick. Are they pasture raised or do you have them locked down?
Oh, we just moved. We got them locked down, and I think they're.
Well, we got it's a small paddock that we move, but they're not pasture.
No. We did it for extra gardening space for next year. They basically ripped it all up, fertilized it, and it's going to be more gardening behind the fruit trees. That's what it's going to be for.
Okay.
That purpose.
Yeah.
No, I didn't take it out either.
We got the meat. We got the meat, and they did the work for the garden.
That's right.
Yeah.
All you do is
Now, will you do that again?
not next year.
Probably not this coming year. We usually do pigs like every other year because, I mean, it's just the two of us. I mean, we do have family over a lot, so we really only need one pig a year, but we've tried raising just one, and
Well, they're such social animals. You definitely want to always have two. It's just like with cattle, they're animals you definitely want to raise two at a time or more. And yeah, we found that out too with the pigs. They're definitely so social.
The hard way.
Yeah, they're just too destructive if they're by themselves, just because, I mean.
Well, they want to get to people if they can, because they want company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've always had more than one, I think. But we definitely notice they behave better when there's more than one, and because they have company out there.
Mm-hmm.
So even this little pig we've got in the house, if we're not around him, he's all bossy and gets all attitude. So we kick him outside for a little bit, and then he can come inside. But if we're around, he's got to be by us. He's social for sure.
All right, I wanted to ask Kenny a question because I thought this was legit.
Legit.
What's
legit?
I saw the video about the battery hack.
Oh yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I have had batteries that die for my drills or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So do you think you could explain how to correct that problem?
Wait, he's going to tell his whole video right here. And so no one has to watch his video?
It's
It was a short. It's fine.
And he's had to explain it a lot.
I have had to explain it.
It's a short video, but see what happens is now people understand this guy, Kenny, he knows what he's talking about.
So if you want to actually watch the video, go watch it, but he's going to tell you real quick about it. Okay, you can go ahead then.
Go ahead.
I just didn't want him to take away from your video.
Oh, no, that's fine.
God, man, what is wrong with you?
I got to keep you online. You've been talking for an hour and a half.
Go back to Chick-fil-A or something. All right, go ahead, Kenny.
The battery runs down basically past, I think it's 14 or 13 volts. When the battery gets down below that, the charger won't recognize it when you put it on there. And it's just basically from sitting on the shelf or not getting used or bottom of the bag. Anyway, you boost the voltage on it and pop it back to life. It'll snap at you. It'll spark at you, but you're energizing it with 20 volts.
Okay.
It'll bring the voltage up high enough for the charger to recognize it again. Then the charger will kick on.
So you're basically jump starting it.
Yep.
Like a car battery.
Yep. And don't do that. That's bad too. I've seen people say, "Oh yeah,
don't do it."
I tried it, and don't do that. Start flying because I thought, "Oh, I got to try it. I got to see if it'll jump start a car battery. I mean, a car." Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about a car battery. I was like, well, then why did we put the video
Oh,
up?
no.
The same thing. I'm like, what is happening here? He said, don't do my video. Go watch it, but don't do it.
I was like, well, I'm taking it down.
Here's my video, but don't do it. Nobody.
No.
It's too dangerous.
You got to go check it out. If you have any dead batteries on the shelf, go check out the video. He explains what he's doing.
Okay.
I didn't really understand until he just explained it right there. See, that makes a lot of sense to me because I got that mechanical mind. You don't just go.
No. No. This is not happening. I will literally bite your finger. Do not.
Anyway, go check it out. If you have any batteries that don't work, go check out the video and give it a try before you go and just dump everything.
Yeah, and you will run
But
into
you
some
made
that
it
are just
sound
weak.
all mechanical.
Yeah.
Like regular people aren't going to understand that.
Yeah, if you put your drill.
No, what it is.
Oh, here we go.
Well, make it like normal people talk.
Yeah, tell somebody that yes, Angie, figure it. What does it do? How do you
What
do it?
Angie Go ahead.
I understand it.
And more
get
people are going to understand what I say than what you say.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Hey, I got you,
So
Kenny.
if your battery doesn't work and it's so dead that the charger won't pick it up, you take
Mhm.
one battery to another battery and you jump it, just like
Oh, you're like jumping a vehicle.
yes.
I
And
just-
then
Oh.
it will put enough. It'll put enough
Oh.
juice in that dead battery that when you put it back on the charger, then it'll start charging.
Oh,
it.
that's cool.
Hey,
Go ahead and explain it for another 20 minutes.
Kenny,
I think you did a fine job.
I know I
See,
did.
she did a good job. That was much better than
There.
what, yeah.
there now. Everybody in here should understand that now.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll all do. All the people understand.
Okay,
See?
perfect.
There you
Okay,
go.
another question for you. I
Mhm.
want to know why you decided to go feed your chickens with a dinosaur costume on.
Why not?
And here's the answer.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. See? Why
Doesn't
not?
everybody do that?
That's fun.
Well, I mean, was the intent to see how they would react, or
No, it was the costume was there.
Yep.
Just put it on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like I'm going to go out and go trick or treating or anything. The costume was there. I had to do chores that morning. I mean, doesn't everybody feed their chickens in dinosaur costumes?
What?
Well, they should
You
because
probably
Maybe
should.
my PJ pants are in the washer.
you know, honestly, I was watching the video and I was like, I wonder why she's doing this. Maybe she didn't have any clean clothes. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what it was.
PJ's in the washer.
Okay.
Whatever. Get it done.
But I was curious to see how the chickens would react, and they didn't seem to care at
No.
all.
Nope, just feed me.
Yeah,
It's kind of like me. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
just feed him.
just feed me.
you don't care what she looks like or what she's wearing. You just
Just
wanna-
feed him.
I think she always looks wonderful, but just feed me.
Oh, see,
So nice. Look, she's looking at it like, what?
What do you
he hasn't eaten dinner yet tonight, has he, Andrew?
No.
He had leftover pizzas.
We
what he
have.
had.
We have.
That's okay. I stopped off at Chick-fil-A for the children and myself and didn't bring anything for Eric. So he gonna be eating some
What?
leftovers.
You
Now
know,
you gotta
that,
go back.
that's all right. It's all right. It's kind of like when she left me for vacation.
For 10 days.
No, it was 3.5
Literally.
months.
10 days. By the
Really?
end of next year, it's gonna be a whole
probably
year.
4 months by now.
Yeah, no, yeah. Every time he tells a story, it's even worse. It's like every time, longer and longer and longer. I've been gone.
Exactly, Jackie.
Yes. Yes, that's true. Yes, Jackie, very true.
What?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we are up against our time, so
We got 5 more minutes. Any other questions?
I'm going to give this is the last question. So, what are your goals for 2022?
Mine would definitely be, well, I've got two. One would be to grow better tomatoes because last year was really bad. And I would love to have a greenhouse by next year, by next winter. I would love to have a greenhouse.
Yes. I hurt my back, so the greenhouse project got put off. But that is my goal, is to build a building and put a greenhouse on the side of it.
He just cares about the building,
Yes.
but
Yes, she's right.
I get the
Yes.
greenhouse that goes on the side. So the
Are you gonna
sooner
use
I
your
can get
greenhouse?
his building, the sooner I get my greenhouse.
Yes.
What would you use your greenhouse for? Are you going to use it for starts or are you going to use it for continuing to overwinter things?
Definitely use it for starts, but I'm one of those, I'm a winter whiner. And so I'm going to whine all winter long about it being cold. And so if I actually had a greenhouse, my thought is I won't technically be outside, but it'll kind of feel like I'm outside. So, maybe it won't be as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like he will make me, we'll get to the point where he's just like, we're going to Florida because you need some sun. And it's like, You're probably right.
Yep. Yep. So that's,
Yeah,
that's all our goals.
I have a feeling I'm going to go sit in the greenhouse a lot. I'm just going to take a chair out there and just sit.
Well,
just-
I told him, I said, I want to swing out there, like a porch swing.
That'd be so nice.
Even if I can just sit there, read my book, just pretend I'm outside.
Yes, because you'll have the sun, what little bit of sun there, and the heat. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, Eric, for Christmas, he got me a greenhouse thermometer.
Nice.
Yeah, right. So I have a greenhouse thermometer now in my greenhouse. And so now I know how hot it is or cold it is.
There you go.
I feel like you're not really appreciating that gift.
I do appreciate the greenhouse thermometer.
I don't-
Doesn't everybody want a greenhouse thermometer for
I'm-
Christmas?
I'm not buying this. I thought we were doing practical.
And a hoodie. Merry Christmas.
What? Now, see that would be.
I like my hoodie. I wore my hoodie tonight. I was sporting it. I was looking cute. And I saw my greenhouse thermometer was hung up. So I am golden. We're good. Let's head off to 2022.
He usually gets
Wow.
people ask what he's getting me for Christmas, and he'll tell them, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna die."
Oh, you're gonna die, dude. I think one year I bought her a mop bucket, a new frying pan, and I can't remember what the other one was. But anyway, the guy I work with goes, "Oh, dude, you're gonna die."
Frying pan's a good
"No,
gift.
that's what she wanted. That's what she wanted.
But yeah, and it wasn't just a mop. It was like one of those spin
The
mops,
spinny ones. Okay. That's
yeah.
good. That's a good one.
and then it wasn't just a regular skillet. It was like one of those giant ones
Deep
that's
ones.
like super deep,
Yes.
and it's like,
Chicken fryer. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited because I'm gonna go sit in my chair and I'm gonna pay attention to that, and I'm gonna sit out there and hang out in that greenhouse and be like, "Yeah, boy, it's 80 degrees. I'm gonna sit in here all winter, all winter. I'm gonna just be like, thank you for that, because now I know exactly how warm it is out here. And I can sit out here,
Well, be thinking of me freezing.
and then you'll
Not
be
in
sitting
my
out in yours
greenhouse.
next year. I'll
Stuck
let
in-
you know how it is. I'll be like, take a video, be like, Angie, this is for you. Come join me, or just wait. Next year, you have your own. Just chilling in your greenhouse.
Watch the videos. When you see me whining, you'll be like, "Oh, the poor girl."
Yeah.
I know. I understand.
As you're
Though.
sitting there in your greenhouse with your thermometer.
And I won't have to wear my hoodie
Uh,
because it's gonna be like 80 degrees.
See, you got to send me the hoodie.
When I'm ready
I'm
for when I'm
freezing.
done, when I'm convinced that Texas is gonna be cold, warm enough again, you take the hoodie. Indiana will be a lot colder sooner, a lot longer than it will be here. I don't know. We're supposed to dip down below 20 degrees this weekend.
We already covered that.
I am not-
You didn't feel.
I was driving your
necessary
children
to be
safely
here
home. Nope.
for, like, no.
Yeah. Needless to say. Yeah. Needless to say, it's going to get cold and I'm going to be crying the blues on Sunday.
Mm,
I won't see the outdoors. I won't go
See,
outside.
We're good Sunday
we're good
because
Sunday.
Sunday,
We'll be in Florida.
yeah. And it's supposed to start snowing Sunday. So
Mm.
Yeah. How long are you going to be in Florida?
only 5 days.
Oh,
Short trip.
well, keep it up. Eric will be like, look, they were in Florida for 10 weeks. Remember, we talked to Kenny and Angie and they went traveling for a year.
Don't say that because the last time we went to Florida,
We got stuck.
we got stuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 1 week turned into 2 weeks. I thought. it
Well,
was
there's
gonna
worse
be
places
number
to be
3.
stuck, though, right?
Oh, that was actually not a good one though, because
Oh, no.
We were
Yeah.
stuck in the Disney bubble.
Yeah.
Oh,
we didn't have a car. I
Oh,
mean, we were
no.
legit stuck
We were stuck.
in the mousetrap.
oh
And the
my
mousetrap
goodness.
ain't cheap. So
Yeah. Well,
Someone's asking where in Florida.
yeah, where are you going to go in Florida?
Mousetrap.
yep, Disney.
Yay, that's awesome. Aw, well, have a good time. When are you leaving?
The first.
Literally 2 days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, enjoy yourself in Florida. I'll be shivering here. I'll be whining one Sunday.
Well, I'm not gonna feel bad for you because
Your 80-degree greenhouse.
I only get it for 5 days.
I might just go sit in my greenhouse and take a video for you and be like, this is what I'm now doing.
Michael, you just need to keep your mouth shut there.
Yeah, Michael, don't you start in here.
I'm
Don't
kind of
bring
like
up rabbits.
Michael
Don't
guy.
bring up nothing.
Leave these nice people alone.
Michael's a good dude. He is.
Oh, that's great. Oh, Jackie lives in Fort Walton Beach. So she lives in Florida.
Oh,
That's pretty
man.
cool.
That's a nice place too.
Mhm.
Well, we like to try to stay on time as much as we can.
Especially because it gets late fast.
So we really appreciate you guys being able to
Thanks
jump
for
on.
having us.
Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it.
Sorry
Yeah.
you were stuck with Eric for majority of the time. So sorry. You have to come again when it's me and him, and so that it's not just him
We'll see if she schedules something again. How
telling
about
all
that?
his stories. I heard all those stories. I'm like, why is he even talking about hay? Who asked about hay?
It's important. We were talking about, hey, you should listen
He's
to
Hey,
it.
talking
asked
about
about-
hay cows.
He was talking about all the other. He was going around the hay bale, back over the hay bale, through the front of the hay bale, going all around, telling all about the hay bales.
Speaking of hay bales,
Oh,
talk about the round bale.
Here we go.
Do the plug as we go out.
oh, for our round the hay bale. Yeah, there you go. Don't forget to come check it out Monday.
Wow, that was horrible.
Well, we have to watch our time. I understand. So thank you all so much for coming by. Really, for real.
Thank you.
I loved it. I'm glad. I listened to a lot of it on while we were driving. So
It was good. We appreciated it.
Yeah. So if you guys, I do that. Are you on Facebook as well, or just Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram. We got TikTok, but we don't really use it a whole lot.
Okay. So anybody that's out there, go check out Kenny and Angie at
Yeah.
Abundant Acres, and check out the video for sure about the battery. Go check them out on Instagram, Facebook.
go look at her video where she's messing with the guy from Louisiana because of the Shed Wars thing. It was so funny where she was like mocking him. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And then he came back and was mocking her. It was so great. She was making some chili. It was funny.
Some gumbo.
Well, he asked.
The
He
gumbo chili.
like got a hold of me, and he was like, "You might want to watch this video before I post it." I was like, "Just go for it." And
Yeah.
I told Kenny, I was like, "It's kind of a boring video." So I kind of rewatched it, and I was like, "If he don't have me farting on there, I said,
He had you
done.
farting every 5 seconds. He's like, he's like, here I go. I'm gonna mix these beans up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is the funniest thing ever. I was like, this is like one of my 13-year-old boy. It's my 13-year-old boy like making a video, basically, like mocking me. It was funny. So yes, please go check out Kenny and Angie over at Abundant Acres Homestead. They're awesome. So thank you guys so much.
Yep, we really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having
And
Yeah.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody that's still in
Yeah.
the chat. And next time we'll be back, it will be 2022.
Yep.
So, hey, who likes good company and a chance to be able to talk while you're gone?
Mm,
Farmers do.
well, farmers' wives like
There you go.
good
Until-
company. So thank you so much.
Until next time,
Stop it.
everybody, we appreciate everybody that's in the chat.
Thank you.
Kenny and Angie, thank you so much. Happy New Year. Until next time. Peace.
See ya.
Take care.